Hello everyone, it's that time of year again. The time of the year when you rethink your life choices, you start thinking about taxes, and you start thinking about cold weather. You start thinking about putting away that Christmas tree, and you start thinking about what movies moved you, what movies made you laugh, what movies thoroughly entertained you, what movies immersed you. Yeah, that's right. It's time for the top 10 movies of 2024. So guys, we're going to start out with the movies that we definitely enjoyed but didn't quite make the top 10. The movies that I could see maybe in a different universe as being in the top 10 of my year of 2024. For whatever reason, just didn't make it. So without further ado, these are my honorable mentions of 2024. American Fiction, a funny movie, is rewatchable and technically not 2024. Longlegs, very weird and memorable, exceptional performance by Nicolas Cage. Challengers, great performances by the three title characters, a love triangle movie set in the world of tennis with a great soundtrack. Oh, and that threesome scene. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, solid entry in the consistently great Planet of the Apes franchise. Argyle, surprisingly funny and entertaining. Terrifier 3, unapologetically gory and entertaining. I'm now a fan of the Terrifier series. Good Halloween film. It reinvigorated the slasher flick for me. Late Night with the Devil is one of those movies that I can honestly say is one of the wild cards of this list. The strongest part of this movie is the setup in which you get an up-close and personal look at what it would have been like to be part of a 70s late night TV show going against the king of late night at that time, the Johnny Carson show. Then for further context, you add in the fact that you plan to show the actual seance with the devil to boost ratings so you can live another day in the world of late night TV. The whole time you're watching the movie, you're questioning whether this is actually going to happen on live TV, and then when it actually does, you're like, holy crap. The movie gets a little overly campy at the end with some questionable CGI effects, but I still enjoyed this movie for what it is, and I can definitely see myself watching this late at night on some random weekend and getting lost in the 70s aesthetic of late night TV in which the devil comes out to play. The number 9 movie of the year is Blink Twice. Channing Tatum was in a lot of stuff this year, but honestly, many people didn't see him in his best starring role to date. Forget Gambit, I'm talking about Slater King, the tech CEO who invites two friends to an island when things aren't what they seem. Blink Twice weaves a tale that doesn't show all its cards until the end. It starts out as a magical vacation for Frida and Jess, played by Naomi Ackie and Alia Shawkat, who get to spend time with the charismatic Slater King, played by Channing Tatum in one of his best roles of his career. Then people start losing knives, their memory, and waking up with bruises on their face, and then people start missing, and before you know it, it's not all champagne with a single raspberry in it and 5-star meals. This movie has a lot to say about rich people taking advantage of the less affluent, aka the Harvey Weinsteins and Jeffrey Epsteins of the world, and what the fallout of all that is. But at the end of the day, Blink Twice is just a really fun movie to watch and figure out what really is happening when two women get an opportunity of a lifetime that quickly turns into a nightmare beyond their wildest dreams. My number 8 movie of the year is Furiosa. I know a lot of people didn't like Furiosa, but I couldn't help but like it nonetheless. I felt it was a weird, bold, and action-packed movie in all the right ways. Maybe because I was ready to get back into the Mad Max world, or maybe because I liked Chris Hemsworth's performance as Dementus. Whatever it was, something stuck with me with Furiosa. The look of the film was stunning, which is saying something because you would think that the movie being set in the desert would make it boring, but for me, I did like the cinematography in Furiosa, and I enjoyed the vehicle combat scenes, which in my mind were inventive and different. But honestly, what I keep coming back to is the dynamic of Chris Hemsworth's performance as Dementus, which was at times funny and other times you kind of like him and other times you really hate him. And I like when a character has that kind of dynamic. I especially like the early scenes when he takes a young Furiosa under his wing as a dysfunctional parental figure in her life. I like Anya Taylor-Joy too as Furiosa, but I don't think the movie makes my top 10 without Chris Hemsworth's performance. The number 7 movie of the year is Flow. Flow is the movie that surprised me the most out of all my top 10 picks of 2024. This was one that me and my wife picked on a whim to watch. You know how you have some weeks where there just seems like there's nothing to watch, interesting or otherwise? Yes, that was one of those weeks when I went to go see Flow. Let me tell you, I was so happy I went with the flow and just went and saw Flow. This is easily one of the most meditative watches of 2024. Where with Nosferatu you got lost with the dark gothic setting, here you will get lost to the antithesis of that. This is the coming-of-age animated classic that will hook you with its watercolor aesthetic in a water-drenched post-apocalyptic world. You will fall in love with the simple tale of a cat who escapes a flood and goes on a journey with a ragtag group of animals who each communicates in their own unique way. There's no dialogue and there's no need for it. Flow says so much more than most of the movies out there. Sometimes when you go with the flow, life has a way of leading you in the right direction. The universal themes of friendship, teamwork, life, and death go beyond the bounds of species in this tale as old as time. Or maybe it's a tale yet to be told. This was the surprise of the year for me. My number 6 movie of the year is Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus managed to make aliens scary again. With a younger cast, it managed to reinvigorate the franchise that has kind of lost its way with Prometheus and Alien Covenant. To be fair, I still like those movies, but Alien Romulus smoothly returned to the roots of putting the xenomorph front and center while tying in nicely with the original Alien. I love this movie even if there is that questionable CGI of a certain villainous android. I even recently rewatched and ended up loving it even more. Alien's back, baby. The number 5 movie of the year is Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine was the funniest movie of the year for me. It didn't hurt that it brought back everyone's favorite Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. Then you pair him with Ryan Reynolds as the wisecracking Deadpool and you get the best pairing of any two people this year. No one had better chemistry than these two in 2024, and it didn't hurt that the action was the best in the Deadpool series to date, not to mention in any recent Marvel movie. This movie reinvigorated the brand while poking fun at the IP in comedic fashion that was actually entertaining to watch for a change. The number 4 movie of the year is Nosferatu. Nosferatu is a movie with the best atmosphere and cinematography hands down. Each scene is dripping with gothic horror goodness, and Bill Skarsgård steals every scene he is in as Count Orlok. Well, every scene except the ones he shares with Lily Rose Depp, who holds her own and then some as Ellen Hutter, the object of desire to none other than the Prince of Darkness. In fact, an argument can be made that she is the main attraction here as a woman possessed and defiled by a devil of a man that can single-handedly bring a plague upon a land. Nosferatu is the kind of movie you just get lost in. You transport to another time and place. It's true that that place is a hell landscape of evil, but you will still admire it because at the end of the day, you get to go home to your warm bed. I mean, you may jump at that shadow in the corner of your room at night, but you know it's just a figment of your imagination. Or is it? My number 3 movie of the year is Dune II. It came out earlier in 2024, but it still resonates as the best sci-fi movie of the year. Dune II amps everything up that the original did. Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya are more front and center here, and the action set pieces are next level. The scenes where the Fremen ride the worms is some of the best stuff you will remember from 2024. That and the black and white scenes featuring Fade Ruatha and the Harkonnen Baron are nice touches to a very entertaining film that has put Dune back on the map, and dare we say it, it's better than Star Wars right now. The number 2 movie of the year is The Substance. The Substance is a movie with the most off-the-rails ending of all these movies. While that moved it down a peg for a lot of other people, it cemented it, for me, as one of the most horrifying and shocking movies of 2024. Top of it, you have 2 of the best performances of the year from Margaret Qualley and Demi Moore. There's so much to like about the movie from the way it's shot. It's almost an advertisement for a real-life substance. Is there one? Because, I mean, it could be cool. Then you watch the ending and you're like, you know what? There's something to the age-old adage of aging gracefully without the help of some genetically engineered fountain of youth serum to muck everything up. Then again, you can almost see what might have been if Demi Moore's character had just followed the regiment the way it was meant to be followed. It's only when she gets addicted to her younger looking self that things go off the rails. And boy, do they go off the rails. This movie is like a testament to how humanity has an innate flaw of always ruining something that is too good to be true. And that's why it's one of my best movies of 2024. And now we're finally into the number one movie of 2024. What movie captured the most entertainment for me? Which movie immersed me the most? Which movie made me just have so much fun at the movie theater? Wicked was the one movie that once I was in at the 5-minute mark, I knew I was going to have fun. And that's saying a lot because musicals can sometimes come off as showy and overly flamboyant. For people like me who are not into musicals, watching them can be like not being invited to the party that everyone else is a part of. But with Wicked, I got sucked in from the start. Whether it was the handcrafted sets like the famous Wizard of Oz train that they built from the ground up, to the funny and delightful performances from the two leads, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, whose chemistry is the glue that holds the whole film together and makes it sing. Pardon the pun. You'll be singing Popular weeks after watching Wicked. So guys, there you have it. There's my list of the top 10 movies of 2024. What were your top 10 movies of 2024? I'm sure they're very different from what I had, and I was biased on a few, and it's kind of hard not to be biased about certain movies you're into, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. We all have our opinions, and there's not a wrong one. So let me know what you thought was your top 10 movies of 2024. Let me know in the comments below, and I'm hoping that we have a great movie season for 2025, and I look forward to reviewing much more videos for you in the coming year. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next one.